Hey guys, what's up? Pixel Art Builder 583 here again, and welcome for yet another edition of the PAB Magazine. Ever since before this month, everything has been going eventful, but rather, activity in video business has been sporadic, but not as sporadic as in February. But now that we got stuff that's accomplished, we got a lot of stuff to cover as we intend. We'll get ourselves started right on that. For one thing, we've got Microsoft Sam Plays Minecraft. Season 7 episode 18 went pretty well, despite one more error that I spotted recently at around scene 3. But there's nothing that we can do about that now, but rather dismiss it as a defect in the character. But hey, what matters is that we accomplished the whole damn season after 4 years. And I have to admit, its finale was pretty intense, though it was intended to be that way. But now that the season is finally finished, I'm going to dive into the scope of Season 8. That season will consist of 10 episodes, plus a halftime special and an aftertime special. There was originally going to be an aftertime special for Season 7, but I dropped that because of how long that season took. But as for Season 8, I can say that from the record of some of the episodes and what they're going to be about, as well as some free time I've got in my hands before I can go for a new job, I can safely say it won't take as long. I'm not going to make any promises on that, but I will try my best to produce a whole lot of the content that I'm currently planning out alongside my crew. But as it was said before, we're not going to start immediately in this season, as I'm planning on taking some time to recover from the Season 7 development hell. I'm planning on starting Season 8 on July, sometime after that month's 4th day, which is going to be a month and a half from now. Until then, you can expect a good amount of step-back content in my channel, including something I may have cooking up as a spin-off. No, it's not gonna be Sector, because I have that series on hiatus until the first 3 episodes of Season 8 of the main series are produced. Now then, we're gonna move over to Sam for some of the stuff that he wants to talk about.
Thanks, Pixel Art. Now then, here's the next topic that we are going to cover, and yes, this is going to be very important regarding the news we got. This one is about Microsoft Sam reads funny signs and errors. We got some bad news that involves it. You know about the signature website that we used to make error messages and user-generated signs, Atom Smasher, right? That website is down and out. And it's not any standard outage that's going on. It has been down for almost an entire month, counting in by weeks, which means that it's possible that the outage is permanent. That is, according to some TTS creators. So it may be safe to say that the legacy of Atom Smasher is no more, although it will never be forgotten in our memory books. But don't fret just yet. That does not mean that the series is over. You might ask how that statement would make sense, but the obvious answer lies right here in front of those who have seen it before. That's right, we got plenty of alternatives that we are planning to use for the next few episodes of Microsoft Sam Reads Funny Signs and Errors. They include but are not limited to NKRS 200 Studios Center Error Designer, Fairplay 137's Error Central website, John K's Message Box Generator, and some sign generators that might be used along the way. Shout out to Kenster for having pointed out those alternatives we plan to use for the upcoming episodes, as well as some information provided. So rest assured that even when Atom Smasher goes down, which may be seemingly permanent, this is truly not the end. This is, as people call it, a new beginning. But we're still not going to make another episode of this series until we have everything figured out and are certain about what we have yet to use. With that aside, we are going to talk about Microsoft Sam and Friends Play Left 4 Dead 2 next. There was going to be another custom campaign attempts which we were going to produce until Microsoft Sam Plays Minecraft Season 7's finale was finished. but that said thing had to get in the way because of it being top priority and all. But do not be mistaken. We are still planning on producing the parts of that said campaign, but it will take some time for us to get through some of the chapters behind it, which we're not gonna let stop us from trying to fulfill our intents. We're not making any promises like Pix said before, but we will try our best, which is what we can really do. But before we go away from this topic, there's also consideration that survival episodes 5 and 6 being produced along with that custom campaign. However, as of the events that transpired in Microsoft Sam Plays Minecraft Season 7, there are going to be some changes, including a new thumbnail for the series by the time survival episodes 5 and 6 are done. Stay tuned for what may be developed there as time goes on. There have been some stuff that I was trying to think about for the final episode of Microsoft Sam Plays Team Fortress 2, which we could not make an episode of in so long ever since the bot crisis in that game arose. The bot crisis was so bad during the previous 2 years coming in, it reached to an extent that not only do I hate that game for those reasons now, we personally regret making that series now for reasons that came to pass behind the scenes, which we are not at liberty to discuss. Those reasons alone are why the series failed so badly when compared to the other ones. The bot issue has also gotten so bad. There was also a bunch of fear-mongering saying that it would only be a matter of time before bots and toxic players alike would make it to the MVM and community server games as well. It almost made us reconsider the decision of making such an episode, too. But knowing that there was still reassurance from several friends and acquaintances, it may still be safe to make a dedicated MVM episode before we call it quits for this series ultimately. We just need to check in what the server environments are like. With that one topic aside, I'm going to be talking about Microsoft Sam Plays Killing Floor 2 next. What Season 5 of this series will have in store is that there will be tweaked episode plans for its second half, what with a new update coming soon. Pixel Art completed the seasonal objectives already, which gave us a certain badass reward that will be used later on as we progress ahead. There will also be the new map in that update, as well as the new weapons that were introduced, especially before the first beta got released. We were also originally going to have some people participate in terms of rosters, but due to either some technical issues or real-life stuff in some people's ends, we had to try and improvise with some stuff around those parts. And also due to the DLC weapons for this update not being available for purchase just yet, as well as the Armory Season Pass 2, we will not air the next few episodes until June when the full release of the update is out. We will now go on to Mary for what she needs to talk about.
Thank you, Sam. Ahem. So, some of you are wondering what's been happening with Microsoft Mary Plays Shantae and the 7 Sirens, correct? Well, since Microsoft Sam Plays Minecraft Season 7 is over, we've been considering getting it back on its feet, but the catch is, we can't find a time when we could do so right now. Why not? There are some things that are being prioritized over this as of late, and that might get some people asking what happened with the series or where it's going to go. But do not fret. We're not going to say goodbye to this series anytime soon, unless we reach the end of the game. Although at the same time, I'm not making any promises as to what we are going to do in terms of production of episodes. You know the drill there. If you want the nutshell version, we are trying to find a correct time to produce enough episodes for substantial enough progress on the series. Now then, we'll be heading on over to Scotty for his piece.
Thanks, Mary. So, it's been over a year since an episode of Radar Overseer Scotty's Retrograph has been produced, eh? Many of you know the obvious answer by now, but I'm not going to hesitate to say it in case anyone doesn't know. Time constraints, as well as other series priorities, have taken over to the point where not a single finger could be put on it, but that's not the worst part. Ever since the Log4j vulnerability plagued several Minecraft versions, Pixel Art has been afraid to even touch the version I'm experimenting as of right now, fearing that by having us play it, he is risking his own safety. But to be fair, I don't blame him. That was new by the time, but since this is old news as of right now, we're considering maybe finding some moments to continue on with the series on a consistent basis, considering that safety measures are exercised and some of the initial plans for the series are stable and consistent enough. I just hope the vulnerability doesn't plague us if we do some of these versions too. But anyways, we're gonna go on to Mike with his own topic.
Thank you very much, Scotty. Right then, now we are going to go on about Microsoft Mike Plays Terraria, since it won the poll for what we'll do in a series starring me. So, there will be some episodes that will be produced throughout due course, but there is going to be one crucial detail that I need to lay out. We plan to have this series consist of a few seasons with roughly 10 episodes each. This estimate may vary depending on the circumstances of any season, of course, but we will try to make it work as much as possible, considering it's supposed to be the kind of spin-off of Microsoft Sam Plays Minecraft. When we start off on this series, we will create a small world to learn the logistics of the game a tad bit more. By the time we get more experienced with it, we will potentially throw in multiplayer for more sizable worlds. But as we are not yet certain as to who exactly will collaborate with us, that'll be up to Pixel Art to ask some of his friends if they want to collaborate on that multiplayer. But either way, though, we are going to start on single player and build our way upon the experience ranks. Now, we'll head back to Pixel Art for the remaining topic he wants to talk about.
Thanks, Mike. Now then, we've got one more series which we will talk about, and that's going to be Pixel Art's Minecraft Adventures. Yes, I know, it's been about 5 years since Season 4 ended, and I'm daring to say that's an extremely long gap. And I know, people might be predicting by now that this series is dead, but I'm not blaming anyone who is. In fact, any series that has been in purgatory for about a year or so can seem like it's dead, but it's important not to judge the book by its cover. But now that Microsoft's Sam Plays Minecraft Season 7 is over, we can try to make an episode of this series, although I doubt that I might find the time, considering that days are flying by fast, and I tend to waste a few seconds of my life not making them count and such. And another thing, I'm considering deleting one of the worlds I experimented with in Season 4. The name Pixel's Legit Empire, the world in question, did not age well, and that only served to feed my ego and make it as if I'm up for any challenge thrown at me. Plus, I don't want the same mistake to repeat itself, like in the events that transpired in Microsoft's Sam Plays Minecraft's last Season 7 episode. Yeah, I apologize for that ego shit, and I apologize for any delays that I have thrown at us to the point where some people would think it's dead. But you can only do so much, you know. It's important not to feed off more than you can chew. Now that we've gotten the details of each topic out of the way, I'm going to do a recap for those who did not quite understand them. Microsoft's Sam Plays Minecraft Season 8 does not start until July, number 1. Number 2, Microsoft's Sam Reads Funny Signs and Errors will use some alternatives, but remain on hiatus until we're certain of those alternatives. 3, Microsoft's Sam and Friends Play Left 4 Dead 2 will have a custom campaign, plus survival episodes 5 and 6 considered. 4, we're trying to explore our options of the final episode of Microsoft's Sam Plays Team Fortress 2. 5, Microsoft's Sam Plays Killing Floor 2 Season 5 will not resume until June when its current update is out in full. 6, more Microsoft Mary Plays Shantae and the 7 Sirens episodes will be considered at some point. 7, the same will go for Radar Overseer Scotty's Retrocraft. 8, Microsoft Mike Plays Terraria will have a consistent amount of seasons and episodes, as well as a learning curve. 9, Pixel Art's Minecraft Adventures is also being considered, but one of the worlds there will be deleted. And that's it for the recap, folks. I hope everyone here has enjoyed this edition of the PAB Magazine, and if you have, be sure to subscribe for more content like this in the future. This is Pixel Art Builder 583 signing off. Peace out.